This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Are you visiting Las Vegas this holiday season? Do you have friends and family in town? Or are you just being a tourist in your own city? Well, today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're returning to a conversation I had with local artist Justin Favela and my co-host Dayvid Figler. They had excellent advice on how to be the best tourist possible and the goodwill dividends being a kind visitor can pay out. It's Monday, December 2nd. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. All right, well, I'm so excited to talk to you both about this because you are both lifelong Las Vegans, and I, of course, am the bright-eyed newcomer to the city. So, all right, I'm going to throw a stat at you. Las Vegas has 2.3 million residents, but 38 million tourists annually. So, what is your worst tourist encounter of all time?
Okay, I worked on the Strip, my childhood, right, through college. And I think the worst tourists were when I worked at the New York roller coaster, the old Manhattan Express, and people would show up inebriated to the roller coaster. And we always had to rescue people from the rooftop of the New York. It happened 3 times when I worked there because they would try to get out of their restraints while they were on top of the roof. And that was terrifying because I was also afraid of heights.
I'm sorry,
and
they were
sent
just
us.
drunk or on drugs and escaping the roller coaster and running around on the roof?
Yeah, so they wouldn't put their restraints all the way down. They would hold their shoulders up to their ears so they had more wiggle room so they could take pictures of themselves outside of the restraints. And if we caught them on the cameras, we would have to go outside and stop the roller coaster for hours and take them down one by one off of the roof
Justin, I am
of the hotel.
And you just said you have a slight fear of heights. Oh my God.
Yeah. I got rid of that real quick, going up those ladders back and forth because we had to rescue everybody one by one from the cars.
That sounds like a nightmare. Justin, Dayvid, how about you?
Well, as a longtime criminal defense attorney, I think at one point I was going to specialize in tourists who F up in Las Vegas law because we were getting so many of them. I can't even tell you how many cases we got where people were busted for openly using drugs in nightclubs. And it's okay, security is going to bust you probably, even in the VIP. It happens a lot. And the domino effect of what happens for not just that tourist who goes to the jail, but if they're there with friends, they get 86 from their hotel. I mean, it is a nightmare, if they're there with their family. So I can't get that out of my head when you ask that question is those cases that I've done.
So but I mean, maybe we as Las Vegas perpetuate that, right? That's the invitation that we've been building since the early 2000s. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, including you should you get arrested and have to go to trial, right? The first thing any visitor notices, I feel first thing I get asked about is why are there so many billboards advertising lawyers here? And it's because people come and behave very badly. So, do you think we get particularly shitty tourists here compared to other cities?
Ooh, that's a good question. I do think that, there is no user's guide that's issued to those 38 plus million people who come here. And I think those numbers are probably understated. It just seems like so many people come. But it would be nice to have a little primer, okay, you can have so much fun. Here are the boundaries. Here's where you're coming close. Here's where you cross the line. I just think it's a mindset because it does offer, look, we don't bristle at the term Sin City, do we? And so people come here to sin, and that's going to, relate to shitty behavior.
Justin, what do you think? Do they get off the plane, we need to hand them a primer on how to behave?
Well, that's a little much too.
Yeah,
I know. Maybe
yeah.
I'm gonna take that back a little bit. I'm sorry.
What do you think,
Sorry,
Justin?
tourists. You're fine.
It's kind of an understanding that people are going to come out here and just go buck wild. I mean, when you have movies like The Hangover that are just priming people for having the wildest time, and a lot of these casinos are advertising those experiences. So how can we tell them not to do that
Yeah.
if that's what we're selling in the media to all these people? And so it's this thing where we hate going to the Strip because the tourists are wild down there, but at the same time, that's what's you're keeping food on our tables, right? So it's this
Right.
balance of like being annoyed and understanding, but then also some of these tourists just take it a little too far. It's like, okay, well, you know, there's got to be a few rules here. You got to be considerate of other people.
Okay, so short of giving, we're not going to give people a primer when they walk off the plane, but like maybe we can make some rules right now. So if you were someone has just arrived and you two are in charge of priming them for Las Vegas, I would love your top 3 rules for being a good Las Vegas tourist. Justin, what do you think?
Okay, I travel a lot, and this is a personal pet peeve of mine. So maybe this is a very specific rule for people around me. If you are on a plane from the Midwest to Las Vegas, from the East Coast, from Las Vegas, Texas, wherever you're coming from, you know, I understand you're excited, but some of us are just going home, and so there's no need to chant and clap and get wild on the plane before you get here.
What
Oh my
kind of
God.
Southwest airline flight attendant hate are you now dishing out, Justin Favela?
No, seriously, I agree.
Because they get everyone pumped. That's a Southwest thing.
Oh my
No,
gosh. That's why I don't fly Southwest, because it's like, are you doing a type 5 or are you the flight attendant? I don't understand. Are you
Vegas
trying
jokes.
out your open mic?
Vegas jokes.
I don't.
Oh, Spirit has tried this too. And it's so true. I was already dreading it because I'm flying home tomorrow morning from Chicago. And it's 9 a.m. flight. But I've been like, what kind of turnt bullshit is going to happen on this plane? Because every time, I mean, there was that flight too that had to like stop in Texas because things got too crazy in the plane.
Mhm.
Stop it, everyone.
Those
Do it
stories
when you
come out so
land.
much.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. At least
Good
on
point.
Spirit, though, you have to pay for the punchline. So you could opt out. So that's good.
Oh my,
Just
but
the
that one was
setup.
free from Dayvid Figler. All right, that's a good one. Don't get turned on the plane. All right, David, let's jump to you. Do you've got one for us?
Yeah, you got to have some, and I get it. I don't want to tell people how to live their life in Las Vegas, but have, I don't know, a designated something in your party who's like, hey, here's just a reality check. You need to get off the roof of New York right now.
So invite one boring friend.
Yeah,
on
you
the
got to
bachelor
invite
party.
the one boring friend who's just going to be like, not a Debbie Downer, but like, oh, hey, everyone, that's
Hey,
enough,
guys.
Molly. That's enough.
Maybe we should stop doing Molly, you guys.
Reality check Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah, our
Sorry, now we're
producer
laughing.
coming up with
That
that
was-
one.
Yes, comment. All right. I think that's really good. Okay. So number 1, don't get turned on a plane. Number 2, bring along a reality check Rachel to keep you on track. What else we got?
Okay. I don't mind people getting too turned, like that's what Vegas is for. And I understand
Mhm.
that. I've worked at the Cosmo, I've worked at New York, I've worked at Caesars. I've seen it all. But please keep your bodily fluids to yourself in public.
Oh, yes.
Please don't throw up. Oh my God, we're tired of cleaning up. If you need to go to the bathroom, there's so many bathrooms. Just keep walking in a circle and you'll run into one in the casino.
Go in any casino. Yes. Okay, Fabi, I feel very passionately about this. Throw up.
Yes.
I feel a little like sometimes things just happen. Life just happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like just because you can pee anywhere doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't rain here, y'all. It smells like pee forever.
Yeah. It's not New York. You don't need an app to figure out what bathroom you could use. Like every business, every casino has a bathroom. Like it's that easy.
Multiple. Hey, by Soul Belly. Soul Belly is a bustling restaurant and venue located on Main Street in Las Vegas's Arts District. They serve creative, regional barbecue under the direction of Chef Bruce Kalman. With a strong emphasis on Central Texas barbecue, Soul Belly also offers deliciously simple cocktails, hyper-local beer, and live entertainment. Their mission is simple. Use the most responsibly raised, high-quality ingredients to create the best possible barbecue and just have fun. Soul Belly is great for groups of all sizes. They can host your holiday outing or even organize a party with a live band. It's a fun, comfortable environment that is accommodating for everyone. They can also cater lunch for your office if you're looking for a treat. Visit soulbellybbq.com or just drop by and see what's coming off the smoker today. That's SOULBELLYBBQ.com. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How do you stay cozy during the winter months? I like to find some time for myself to sit in front of my fireplace, snuggled in a blanket with a good book to read. But the holiday season can be tough, and therapy can be helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/citycast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/citycast. Okay, Dayvid, you got another one for me?
Yeah, it's like, don't be stupid. And here's what I mean. When it comes to offerings, like especially on the Strip, like I walk by these when I'm on the Strip, people who are actually playing the 3-card Monty, and it's like, dude, you want to gamble? There is a regulated place like 2 inches from where you're standing where you actually have a shot to win. You have a 0 chance of winning at a 3-card Monty table set up on a pedestrian bridge. Why? Why are you doing that? And you can get all the stuff that you want for legit purposes, like the fake weed stores. That's another one. Yeah. It's like look on, when you see a sign that says cannabis is not sold here, that's real. You know, if you see a sign that says prostitution is not allowed here, real, right? Just don't throw out your common sense, I think, is probably the thing. And if you want the experience, it's available here, just obviously in the places where it belongs.
I can't believe that you are trying to take money out of the hands of our scammers and sex workers, the people that give the Strip its vibe, its old Vegas vibe, Dayvid.
Go to the strip clubs, then,
I will say this, jumping off what you said, tip. Tip your stripper, tip your sex worker.
Oh, yeah, tip.
Tip the people,
Everyone.
You're right, that you take photos with in costumes or are playing music. This is a money city. And so just like if you're going on a cruise ship and there's like an expected 20%, please set that money aside because we are a service-based city. So please make sure you tip. And then I think my other one that I've realized as we're talking is make a plan to get off the Strip. Go downtown, right? Rent a car and go drive Red Rock. Make a reservation. I think you will have such a nice day if you devote one day to doing something off the Strip. There are so many tours too, like a kayaking tour and bus tours and walking tours, trip to the Hoover Dam, that they will pick you up at your hotel. You don't even have to arrange your transportation. Do something off the Strip. That's my rule. We'll go around one more time if you got one. Justin?
Well, yeah, tipping was my number one rule, so you covered that. My grandpa taught me that from a very young age. He would tip from anybody that opened a door, anybody that looked at him. Mm-hmm. He would hand them $1. That's very old school Vegas. Yeah,
if you're coming to Vegas to feel like a baller, keep some 1s and 5s in your pockets and get those tips out. It'll make you look like the shit.
Wear the right shoes, people. It's Las Vegas. If you're going to be on if you're going to do the thing, if you're going to be on the Strip, oh my gosh, so many sad, tragic, broken flip-flop moments that I've seen on the Strip.
Broken just ankle moments around, in those shoes.
Oh my God. Walking around barefoot. Barefoot. The public transportation here is not is not suitable for the strip. So yeah, you're gonna have to walk a few miles every day if you do the strip.
What are you talking about, Justin? We have the loop now. You
Oh,
can
right,
ride
right.
one Tesla at a time. It solved everything.
I will say this in the defense of RTC, the bus line that runs up and down the strip is maybe, if not the most successful and profitable bus line in the country.
Is that your next rule, Dayvid? Take the bus?
No, that's not my next rule. Although everyone should take the bus more. My last rule, and I think that the LVCVA and the casinos are going to hate me for this, and maybe all Las Vegans will hate me for this because it is the economic engine. But if you are going to gamble, stick to your budget. Like, figure it out ahead of time. I love that sweet tourist money going into our coffers and the $1 billion plus every month that we win from these losers. I mean, that's what they are. They're losing money. They're not losers as people. They're losers as gamblers. But, I don't want people diving into the college fund. I don't want people blowing their mortgage. I just don't in my heart, although we don't pay state taxes because they do that. But yeah, stick to your budget. Don't go home so sad. Don't go home where your kids can't have a future.
Oh, God, Dayvid.
If you're a tourist listening to this and you're afraid to gamble on the tables because you haven't done it before and you have a lower budget, you could always go downtown and practice. A lot of those downtown casinos have lower bets. So I think El Cortez used to be quarter roulette back in the day, so you could practice,
Yeah, you still find the lower minimums downtown for sure.
Yeah, and then head to the strip, and go to the high limit places there.
Basically, if anyone who's visiting me says they want to gamble, I do exactly that, Justin. So I feel very, like you're honoring my choices here. Yeah, go downtown. That's a great place to learn. Okay, Justin, do you have any last rules? Anything else on your mind?
One thing that's kind of sad for me is when there's children out, past midnight. Yeah. So if you bring kids to Vegas, have a little compassion. Maybe there's different sitter services or bring a reliable Rachel that can watch your kid in the hotel, That's something that is always mind-boggling to be out at 3 a.m. and see a family with a stroller.
Do they still have kids quests around? When I was a kid, there was actually kids hotels where the kiddies could hang while the parents went and had fun. I remember they had one at the Hilton. Is Kids Quest still a thing? Does that go late night?
Yeah, I think they only have them at the local casinos so that when people go cash their checks, they can drop their kids off. Yeah.
And of course, it's not the 80s anymore, so you just can't lock them in the hotel room and then have them escape in a circus. So for the two of you, has your experience living in a tourist town made you a better tourist in other cities?
It's probably made me a worse tourist.
Oh, no.
Yo, I'm serious. I work a lot in the Midwest, like I said, and I go to restaurants and I'm like, why is it taking 5 minutes to bring me my coffee? I have very high expectations. And so anytime I travel now, I have to be okay, I'm in the South right now. It's going to take an extra 20 minutes for everything. Just, take it easy. Don't get upset because I'm used to that. And my whole family's in the service industry. And so we've just been taught to hustle our whole lives here. And then when you go to a town, shout out to Denver. I recently went to Denver and I'm like, what is happening? Is everybody here zombies? I'm just trying to get some Chipotle. Why is it taking so long? I used to get so upset. And even, you know what else? Even when people are too nice to me and want to talk to me, I'm like, what is this? Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? I'm just trying to get on my flight. I remember the TSA in Minneapolis was so nice, but I was like, oh my gosh, please stop asking me questions. I'm just trying to get through.
Justin, you're actually making me feel so much better because when I go to the South, the South, even Kentucky, which adjoins with my home state of Ohio, I am really can we just move this along? I thought I was going to knife somebody in a Starbucks because the stranger buying coffee and the stranger behind the register were talking about the weather so long. I thought I was going to have to murder someone or I was just going to perish in line right there, just turn to bones. But it's Service City, Justin. You're right. We're built on efficiency. There's not rude here, but we are efficient. What do you think, Dayvid?
I think it's made me a better tourist. If nothing else, they look at me like, why are you tipping so much? And I'm like, that's our way.
Yeah,
It really
that
is
happens.
ingrained in the system, in our systems, in our DNA. My dad was a dealer, he relied on those tips. And so that I think I bring to other places. One interesting thing that makes me maybe a better tourist, I like to think so, is if I do use an Airbnb in our city, which I, sometimes sparingly, but you have to, because it is such a big thing here. And as a local, like, I have my thoughts about it, that I do my research to make sure that, like, it's in a neighborhood that welcomes it, or that it's done in a way that is respectful to the neighbors and the neighborhood, et cetera. And we do a lot of research, and we'll turn down a good value Airbnb if it doesn't meet those criteria. And I think that that's just been my experience living in a town where tourists come into neighborhoods and behave badly and shitty, that I don't want to be that person in another place, but also want to make sure that I'm being respectful across the board to the neighbors who may have their doubts about Airbnbs in those places. So yeah, that's my thing.
Respect and patience.
I will have to say that I do think I am a better hotel guest because of Las Vegas. Because shout out to my tia Lulu, who's the maid at Golden Nugget. Because I know how much those people work, those housekeepers work. And so when I stay at a hotel, if I'm only there a couple days, I don't need them to come in between. I leave my towels in the same place. I try to make it as easy for them to clean up the room, and I leave a big fat tip for them. And they're all, like Dayvid said, they're always shocked when you tip them. And I've had to teach a few friends that aren't from tourist towns to treat the people at hotels differently, because they work so hard for and don't really get paid what they deserve. And we just know that here in Vegas,
Like, next time you're in a tourist city, just think of Justin's tia and David's dad, and remember to tip. Thank you so much, Dayvid and Justin. Thanks for coming on.
That was fun.
Thank you for having me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, send it to 3 friends who have a love-hate relationship with tourists in Vegas. Don't forget to subscribe to our amazing morning newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.
Barefoot on the Strip always freaks me out. I'm just like,
You're
our
gonna
hospitals
get
are going to
gonorrhea
get
on your feet. Yeah.
our hospitals are going to get a lot of business for tetanus shots.